Then came Johnson. Then came Johnson, the left-handed. He was a happy, clappy, chatty chap. Muse of poets, for some writers, oddities, born in a climate of clumsy possibilities. Reared in the waters of culture, a vulture trap. He had his rope of hope, but at the end of his rope, he needed an end, but there was none. And then, that night his mother died, he didn't cry, for his little mouthful tears will be a dishonor. To a mother who was nurture and succor, no more heart to hear his fear and pride. He had his lamp of faith, but that gleam mirage was faint. He needed a light, but there was none. So then, with unanchored hope, he ordered his spirit's grief. Through the darkest alleys and the highways of the castaways, he gropes. With wilderness for his pillow, loneliness for a companion, he probes. He knew his grief wouldn't be brief. Now emperor of uninhabited places, of his father there were no traces. He called a star to be his brother, and the moon a sister. And a cloud slammed the door on his tender voice. From then, the moon died in the sky. That night took his rope. That night stole his hope. That night was his one last try. And that night he sold his soul. And there and then, the birth of an unfrontal, a troll who was now broke and broken, a blade of darkness. What then? What pelts or peppered provocations? When heaven tries the patience of a saint, Johnson bade a final goodbye to good old night. With discordant choir of unnamed ghosts, they sang the requiem to light. From the epicenter of savage depths, a lethal angel sent with the forgotten old gods and surrogate deities. They fudged a ferocious cathedral of atrocities, dark, dreary, and eerie. This is home, Johnson said, and here darkness is message, massage, and passage, where tragedy ripens. Now then, where are the guilty bystanders? Johnson, once a sweet morning lark, now cunning night owl. Harvest of earth's darkest hour, there to prowl. And this second rite of disorientation, blame not the bartenders, oaths of vengeance were made, blood indeed, with a bleeding reed screamed in creed. Inked, ringed, dreadlocks untouchably tattooed. But Johnson's terror, Hitler's just a footnote. Even so, on these touched lines, God did not bother to write straight anymore. Johnson, a pain in the molar, not a minor tremor. This is not a survivor's script. A witness whines of a reserved plot of weeds in a tiny garden, like an angry librarian, a motley saddened to tell this tale, stewed in humor. How mad can a mango make a man go? That far Johnson went, I won't die the truth, overprized, like a tomato freshly plucked from Buhari's Nigeria. One last night, his presence met the living, envied the dead. Upon a deal with a resident malevolence, the sea sees, washed his face and wrote his sins, and looked up, smiled and said, the tide will come and shred this withered root. For no tone of alien gospels can make him contrite. He needed table talks and lives many, and there was none. With the weight of the world's anger upon his grave's lead, here lies he, in this dark vault, dead and buried, Johnson, the left-handed. Every now and then, I pray for him before a wooden saint, whenever bleeds an answer nor flings a frown. Then and now.
Wow.